Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. What is a surprise medical bill? And what should I know about the No Surprises Act? A surprise medical bill is an unexpected bill from an out-of-network provider or an out-of-network facility. Effective January 1st, 2022, the No Surprise Act may protect you. Medical debt often occurs after an accident or sudden illness. Consumers are rarely informed of the cost of medical treatment before emergency treatment and may have little or no ability to shop around. When you get a medical bill, you may not know if you actually received the billed treatment, if the correct amount was billed, if the amount is covered by insurance, and if the amount was already paid or partially paid. What is a surprise medical bill? A surprise medical bill is an unexpected bill, and one form involves bills for services received from a healthcare provider or facility that you did not know was out of network. For example, had not negotiated a reimbursement rate with your insurance company until you were billed. Your health insurance may not cover the entire out-of-network costs, which could leave you owing the difference between the out-of-network provider's bill and the amount your health insurance paid. This is known as balance billing. The bill could be for a service like anesthesiology or laboratory tests. You may not know that the provider or facility is out of network until you're billed. How does the No Surprise Act protect me? Effective January 1st, 2022, one feature of the No Surprises Act protects you from surprise billing for emergency services if you have a group health plan or group or individual health insurance coverage and limited of surprise bills for emergency services from an out-of-network provider or facility and without prior authorization. Out-of-network cost sharing, like out-of-network co-insurance or co-payment for all emergency and some non-emergency services. Out-of-network charges and balance bills for supplemental care like radiology or anesthesiology by out-of-network providers that work at an in-network facility. The No Surprise Act aims to limit the amount you pay out of pocket to a level closer to what you would pay if the healthcare provider were in-network. The Act defines this limit using a recognized market amount of or qualifying figure like the average fee for the services. It generally applies your insurance plan's copay and cost-sharing percentages. Additionally, the Act outlines a process for the insurance company and the provider to settle disputes over the provider's charges and ensuring fair resolution. The Act also requires some healthcare facilities and providers to disclose federal and state patient protections against balance billing and sets forth complaint processes with respect to violations of the protections against balance billing and out-of-network cost sharing. If you don't have health insurance or if you pay for care without using your health insurance, then you will get a good faith estimate of how much your care will cost before you get care. If you've had your care and find that the billed amount is at least $400 above the good faith estimate, you may be able to dispute the charges. You may already be protected against surprise medical billing if you have coverage through Medicare, Medicaid, Indian Health Services, Veterans Affairs, Healthcare, or TRICARE. If I have health insurance, can I waive my protection under the No Surprises Act? If you're using health insurance, out-of-network providers or emergency facilities may ask you to sign a notice and consent form to waive your protections before providing certain services after you're no longer in need of emergency care. These are called post-stabilization services. You may also be asked to sign a notice and consent form if you schedule certain non-emergency services with an out-of-network provider at an in-network hospital or ambulatory surgical center. The notice and consent forms inform you about your protections from unexpected medical bills, gives you the option to give up those protections and pay more for out-of-network, and provides an estimate of what your out-of-network care might cost. You aren't required to and shouldn't sign the form if you didn't have a choice of healthcare providers or facility before scheduling care. If you don't sign, you may have to reschedule your care with a provider or facility in your health plan's network. What should I do if I receive a surprise bill and have billing disputes? Your rights under the No Surprise Act depend on whether you have health insurance or if you're uninsured. In either case, you are protected. If you're insured and your health plan denies all or part of a claim for services, you can appeal that decision. Your plan documents will contain information on the review process and how you request review of your plan's decision. Starting on January 1st, 2022, you generally won't be responsible for balance bills or out-of-network cost sharing when getting emergency care, not emergency care from out-of-network providers at certain in-network facilities, or ambulance service from out-of-network providers. When this happens, instead of you paying for unexpected out-of-network costs, you'll generally only need to pay your normal in-network costs, like coinsurance, copayments, and amounts paid towards deductibles. Healthcare provider and your health plan are responsible for negotiating the total payment amount from the plan to the provider through an independent dispute resolution process. If you're uninsured or self-pay for insurance starting on January 1st, 2022, you should receive a good faith estimate of cost for your care from your provider when you either schedule that care or if you call and request the estimate. After you get the care, if you're billed for an amount more than $400 over the good faith estimate and you got the bill within the last 120 calendar days, you can use the new dispute resolution process to determine the final payment amount. This process uses the third-party arbitrator to review the good faith estimate, the final bill, and any other information submitted by your provider or facility. Where do I go to get more help or file a complaint? If you have a question about the No Surprise Act or believe the law isn't being followed, you can take action by contact the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services No Surprise Help Desk at this number, or by submitting a complaint online. If you still need help with your health insurance and have a problem or question, contact your state consumer assistance program. These programs help consumers experiencing problems with their health insurance or seeking to learn about health coverage options. Comment if you have any questions relating to surprise medical bills. Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps. See you soon.